If you're ready to step up your game and climb the rank ladder for Season 3, you'll need to play these power picks. Whether you're holding down the front lines for your team or pumping out damage as a backline carry, put yourself in the best position to gain RP. What's poppin' everyone, it's your boy Levi, and stick around to the end of this video as well, and I'll give you some insight on a sleeper pick that I think will be moving up the tier list this season. First up, let's look at the tanks. Chiara is one of the best tanks in Season 3, being able to disrupt enemy teams while soaking up damage, catching opponents off guard to control the flow of battle. As I've discussed before on this channel, one of the greatest assets for a tank player is their ability to make space. Chiara is amazing at being able to hold the front line with her giant AoE ultimate. Great in tight corridors, Chiara makes it hard for enemies to ignore when she's draining the enemy team's backline while defending her own through making space. Point and click gap close through rapier weapon skill. Chiara assures that you can get on the target you want quickly. When she dives in, she forces enemy teams into the classic tank dilemma. They must either endure Chiara stacking her passive on multiple members of the enemy team, or focus her to stop the onslaught. When trying to peel for your carries, Chiara's E isn't the most reliable peeling tool. What she lacks in CC though, she makes up with pressure. Getting a passive stack on a diver and being able to execute them with R before they can execute your teammate is an effective method of peeling. These passive stacks also give her good chase, being able to reappear if an enemy tries to escape after using their mobility spells. Chiara does lack escape tools herself, so make sure your team is committing to a fight if you're going in. You'll also be prone to being disengaged from, so look for angles that pressure the enemy into making the decision. What if I told you that one of the best bruiser tanks for Season 3 is a character not traditionally known for its bulk? Known more as a damage dealing frontliner, Yuki has become the most picked character in top 1000 so far in Season 3. Yuki has two distinct playstyles and offers players flexibility to choose between a high damaging duelist with dual swords or a tankier frontline disruptor with two-handed sword. We're going to be focusing on the two-handed sword variant. The combination of bulk from his full tank build, damage reduction on his W, two-handed sword parry weapon skill, and diamond shard augment compensates for the absence of health regen in his kit. Upon transitioning to Levitine, Yuki receives a substantial damage boost thanks to Smolder passive. Make use of Yuki's point and click stun on his Q and the ability to disarm backline marksmen with his E to excel as a disruptor for your team. Your goal in this character is to put the enemy in a position where they lose if they ignore you and punished for focusing you. Like most melee frontliners, Yuki is vulnerable to being poked out before a fight. Be cautious in your approach to the fight, choosing the right moment to dive in. Remember, your E serves both as your initiation tool and your escape. You'll need to be extra careful with your escape as Yuki E doesn't go over walls. With Yuki, strategic timing and positioning are key to unleashing his full potential. Next, imagine a character that's capable of serving the front lines, soaking up damage, and creating space for their backline carries, while also being a great peeler, adept at getting divers off those carries. Like Yuki, Estelle can blend the lines of two different roles. This time, it's tank and support. As one of the few frontliners not susceptible to taking poke, Estelle can step up with her shield to mitigate big enemy cooldowns, turning them into opportunities for her team with her shield charge. This ability not only knocks up enemies upon collision, but can be directed in any direction, serving as a versatile engage or a peeling tool. However, like Yuki's E, the ability has limitations, as it doesn't traverse over walls and can be blocked by enemies when trying to escape. Follow up with a W slow and a Q stun, and Estelle can effectively lock down targets, controlling the pace of engagements. Moreover, Estelle boasts self-sustainability through her axe skill heal, healing drone augment, increasing healing on her passive for herself and teammates, and the ability to shield herself or a teammate with her ultimate. One of her lesser known but invaluable abilities is the capability to revive down teammates faster than the other characters, further solidifying her role as a support powerhouse. And of course, every support needs their carry. And look no further this season than the Queen of Kiting. Rousey has thrived amidst the changes to transition items this season, excelling in combat mobility and turning disadvantageous fights into her advantage. Rousey boasts conditional mobility on her Q and E, along with a speed up dash dodge on her W. With three abilities that enable her to dodge skill shots, Rousey has the potential to single-handedly turn the tides of a fight, even when playing from behind. But what sets Rousey apart is her adaptability and playstyles. Whether she's manning her backline as a traditional marksman or diving the enemy backline in a dive comp, using E is a critical part of her positioning. Unlike other marksmen, Rousey doesn't necessarily rely on needing a peeling support, thriving in a duelist situation where she can secure isolated 1v1s. With favorable matchups against melee characters and the ability to outmaneuver most ranged opponents, Rousey truly shines in that situation. However, her weaknesses lie in a neutral situation before a fight begins. Lacking poking tools in her kit and being relatively short range for a marksman, the longer it takes for a fight to get started, the worse it looks for her. And for a mage that likes the duelist playstyle, excelling at poking down enemies before swiftly diving onto priority targets, we have Fiora. Fiora epitomizes versatility and precision in combat. While she may not possess the raw power to single-handedly carry a teamfight, her mastery lies in walking in a fine line between mage and duelist. Fiora's Q serves as a decent poking tool, allowing her to chip away at enemies' health bars from a distance. With strategic use of her E, Fiora can swiftly reposition herself to capitalize on openings for crucial Q strikes, whether in neutral engagements or isolating targets for 1v1 duels. Space carefully to try and land tip hits for maximum damage. Her R amplifies her burst potential, especially combined with her passive. However, Fiora's squishy nature demands quick decision making and precise execution. With all 4 of her abilities being skill shots, Fiora players must be good with skill shot accuracy, as a missed shot could mean dealing 0 damage in a fight. Mastery of Fiora not only relies on skill shot accuracy, but the finesse of positioning and making sure you don't take too much damage. And as I mentioned, I wanted to give you guys one pick that I think will be climbing the charts this season. Laura is typically known for hitting W on a target and bursting them down with one-shot potential. She excels at looking for picks, and while she's still strong enough to do it in the late game, she can almost adopt a bruiser role, chipping down a front line with continuous E, auto-attack, Q combos. Why I think Laura will be moving up the tier list as the season goes on is due to the introduction of down skills this season. With the potential for an enemy to resurrect if left alone, picks become more important, being able to cleanly make a fight a 3v2. Alternatively, due to enemies reviving, fights can go on for longer. Laura has very short cooldowns and is very good in extended fights. Keep track of your meter and where enemies could be reviving, and punish them if they come back alive. Those are the 6 characters I would recommend for Season 3 of Eternal Return, but of course, we'll need to keep track of characters coming out this season. Up next is Charlotte, and while we await her release, click or tap the screen now to check out Katja, the first character that was released of Season 3.